today we're doing a series here. This is the northeast, Peninsula, Monsan. This is the area in the northeast of Spain, up near the Spanish border, Catalan. This is Catalonia, and it has its own language. It actually shares more in common with the Languedoc-Roussillon and even the Octane part of Bordeaux than it does with like Castile and Leon and the center of Spain. And Castile and Leon is where we get Castellano, which is that language, Spanish language, the list Castellano, right? Catalan is a more ancient language. Castellano is real Latin. It comes from the nobility. It was introduced into Spain by the Romans, right? So because it's a Latin derivation. The Catalan language goes back to the Celtic languages, and it's has more in common with the Celtic languages than it does with Latin. And so I would say it sounds like a German speaking bad Italian. And so the Catalonian language is very different. The Provençal, and Provençal, that language has a lot to do with the Catalan. You have the same sort of C. You have that same sort of C that sounds like an S that looks kind of like an S. You'll see it here, the same sort of Provençal C that you find. So Spain, for a very, very long time, was a divided country. And part of the reason why it was divided is there was a lack of navigable rivers, no big rivers. Like you go into France and it's the Loire, it's the Rhone, it's the Dordogne. Everything is rivers, right? Italy is really narrow. You can walk across it in a day. I'm kidding, but it's really narrow, relatively speaking. Spain is, broken up by mountain ranges, and everywhere you go, there are mountain ranges. Towards the north of the Pyrenees, the Sierra Cantabria, in this area, the Cordillera, which runs across the center, and so every one of the little areas is very much separated and isolated from the others. So you end up with a bunch of different languages. You end up with Gallego up in the northeast, Galicia. That's the Green Spain, that's Celtic area. That's where Albreño comes from. You end up with down in Guedes, and in Andalusia, you end up with another whole language down there. Valenciano over towards the coast, and of course Castile and Leon in the center. Castile, castles. Castile literally means castles. And it was literally, that was the area where they did the battles with the Moors, actually. And of course Portuguese, which sounds a lot like it has that same sort of sh sound to it. So when you hear Portuguese, right? In Spanish, a box, caja, right? You have that jota, which is the Arabic caja. In Portuguese, caixa, right? In Gallego, caixa, right? Very similar, right? Geography made travel difficult, and major roles played into the lack of unity, which led to it being invaded by the Moors. Right? The Iberians themselves are originally from North Africa. They were desert-dwelling folks. They were the original Iberians. The word Ibero, right, means river. And so whenever they settled by the rivers. And the Ebro, which is what runs through Rioja, is one of the places where they gave their name to Italy and stuff. Right? They're famous for their Tanka War, right? The Iberians prefer war to peace, and should they lack foes without secret rather than betray a secret, they will often die from it, sending aside a reserve before the fight itself. Active the body, restless in spirit. They often set more store up on their horses and their fighting equipment and the blood of very noble, right? So the Celts start crossing the Pyrenees in the 10th century BC. The further migrations until the 5th century, bringing the Latini culture, which is the Latini, the Celtic culture, to Spain. And a lot of the culture of Spain is really deeply seated in the Celtic culture. You have the Celts integrated with the Iberians, so separate